All right, so now discussing governance in AI. So, divergent paths to AI governance, comparative analysis of the USA and India. So, we're going to be first covering how these two democracies are differing in their ways in which they basically govern AI. So, two democracies, two distinct blueprints for an AI powered future. So, the United States and India are shaping the global conversation on AI, but from starkly different starting points. This presentation examines the divergent policy evolutions. So the United States is a strategy driven by uses a strategy driven by market leadership and geopolitical competition, evolving reactively through successive administrations. The core narrative is one of retaining a competitive edge. On the other hand, India is basically using a deliberate state facilitated strategy focused on leveraging AI for societal development and inclusive growth. The core narrative is one of building a national capability from the ground up, summarized by the vision of AI for all. Right. Moving on, the foundational era, the Obama administration's initial foray into AI policy. So, core tenets in 2016, the Obama administration laid the groundwork for AI policy, US AI policy, focusing on understanding the technology's societal impact and promoting responsible research and development, prioritizing diversity in the AI field, maintaining American innovation, and expressing foundational faith in the free market to drive progress. So, some key documents that were released: Preparing for the Future of AI, released in October 2016, a comprehensive survey of the state of AI, its applications, and the public policy questions it raises. Then we have the National Artificial Intelligence R&D Strategic Plan. In October 2016, it was released, outlines 7 strategic priorities for federal AI research and development. And then finally, we had in December 2016, Artificial Intelligence, Automation, and the Economy, released, which analyzed the potential impact of AI on the American job market and economy. Now, the competitive pivot, geopolitics, and American values shaped the Trump era strategy. So, the Trump administration initially favored minimal regulation. However, rising competition, particularly from China, prompted a strategic shift towards ensuring American leadership in AI. The pivot, a 2018 memo from Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, urged a national AI strategy, citing the pace of China's ambitions. This led to the American AI Initiative, established by a February 2019 executive order to drive technological standards, train workers, and promote trust. The American Values Framework was an initiative that framed AI leadership through the lens of American values, defined as freedom, human rights, rule of law, privacy, and intellectual property. Despite introducing trustworthiness as a value, the primary emphasis remained on minimal regulation to foster innovation and protect US economic and national security interests. With the United States in the lead, together with like-minded allies, we will shape the trajectory of AI development for the good of the American people. White House Office on Science and Technology. This was stated in 2020. Now, the governance framework, the Biden administration formalizes safety and rights. So, the Biden administration continued the focus on competition with China, but reframed it as a value clash, leading to more structured governance and a focus on responsible AI. Firstly, Executive Order 14110, Safe, Secure, and Trustworthy AI, released in October 2023, a landmark order establishing new standards and requirements. A. AI safety and security mandates that developers of the most powerful AI systems report safety test results to the government and tasks NIST with creating AI safety standards. Civil rights and consumer protection aims to prevent algorithmic discrimination and protect privacy. And C. Innovation and competition supports open research, aids small businesses, and enhances AI education. So this was the first executive order. Second was the AI Bill of Rights, called for in 2021, initiated a public process to develop a framework to protect citizens from the negative impacts of AI. And third, international cooperation, engaged with the European Union via the Trade and Technology Council, affirmed a shared human-centered approach to AI. Now, a deliberate vision, India's strategy for inclusive growth with hashtag AI for all. So, India's AI journey began with a clear top down vision articulated by the government think tank Niti Aayog in its 2018 National Strategy for AI. Core philosophy, to steer AI development towards solving critical societal needs in sectors like healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Right. So, the strategy is branded as hashtag AI for all, implying inclusive technology leadership that addresses India's unique needs and aspirations for all. A unique global position, the strategy document positions India to leverage AI for economic growth and social development and to serve as a garage for emerging and developing economies and innovation hub for the global south. Now, building the foundation, the India AI Stack as a national infrastructure. Published in 2020 by the Department of Telecommunications, the India AI Stack report outlined a vision for a comprehensive digital infrastructure to power the nation's AI ambitions. So, what is the India AI Stack? So, it is basically an assemblage of databases, computational systems, APIs, and governance processes It functions as a unified infrastructure on which public and private sector AI solutions can be built and scaled. Core goal is to create a trusted digital ecosystem by making high quality data sets more widely available and promoting private sector innovation on a public digital backbone. Now, the proposed Indian AI stack looks something like this. So we basically have the security and governance cross layer. Then we have data protection and privacy, and within this we have all these layers. So first we have at the bottom infrastructure layer, which stores the cloud infrastructure. Then we have storage layer, hot data in memory and cold data. Then we have the compute layer, which has all the uh, AI and ML operations taking place in it. That is deep learning, neural networks, right, and machine learning. And the analytics part is separate from that, where we have data engineering and sandbox. And also we have the application layer, in which we have backend services, service framework, transaction movement, audit and logging, open algorithm framework, and for data information exchange layer, we have open APIs, AI, ML apps, trustworthiness, and digital rights. So these are basically the trustworthiness and ethical standards, right? Now, the governance philosophy balancing innovation with a pro innovation stance. So, key milestones responsible AI for all 2021. This Niti Aayog paper recommended a largely non interventionist, self regulatory approach while acknowledging risks to rights and the black box problem of opaque algorithms. So, what is the black box problem? First, let's discuss that. While the advances in ML algorithms and techniques have greatly contributed to higher accuracy, the underlying AI systems have also become increasingly opaque. Such systems have been successful in using a large number of features to make complex and sometimes consequential decisions, but without exposing the underlying rationale. This manifests itself as the inability to fully understand an AI's decision making process and the inability to predict the AI's decisions or outputs, also known as the black box problem. Basically, we are not able to see, since it is opaque, the decision making process has become opaque. We are not able to see how, or basically, we are unable to understand or fully understand the process that goes within the AI that is able to predict all these outcomes. That is the black box problem, right? Now, Global Technology Summit in 2023, leaders endorsed a pro-innovation governance approach consistent with the G20 leaders' declaration, introduced the concept of collaborative AI, with member states agreeing to promote equitable access to AI resources for the developing world, signed the Bletchley Declaration, acknowledging the safety risks of frontier models. Now, formalizing the framework. So, the 2024 AI governance principles. In 2024, building on the newly established India AI mission, a multi stakeholder advisory group was formed to develop a specific regulatory framework for India. The group proposed a comprehensive set of principles to guide responsible AI development. So, we have basically a chart or a mind map that you can see like this. So, minimity, what is this? Must be interpretable and okay. So, that's maybe an error with the. Don't read this, but we have the parts that I can read. So, transparency. So, the principles for AI governance. First is transparency. AI systems must be interpretable and explainable. Accountability. Developers and deployers are responsible for outcomes, and users must respect must respect the user's rights. Then we have safety, reliability, and robustness. Systems must be resilient to errors and mitigate adverse impacts. Privacy and security. Protection laws must comply with data protection laws and incorporate security by design. Fairness and non-discrimination must not perpetuate biases against individuals or groups. Human-centered and values and do no harm. Systems must be subject to human oversight and judgment. And inclusive, sustainable innovation. Benefits of AI should be distributed equitably to pursue beneficial outcomes for all. Now, operationalizing governance, the techno, legal, and ecosystem-wide approach we'll be following. So, India's framework recognizes that traditional command and control regulation is insufficient for AI. It recommends a multi-layered approach to operationalize its principles. So we have three core considerations for implementation. Our first one is a life cycle approach. So governance efforts must cover the entire AI life cycle from initial development through deployment to widespread diffusion. Then an ecosystem view of actors. Regulation must account for the multiple actors involved, including data principals, data providers, AI developers, AI deployers, and end users. And finally, leveraging technology for governance. So the framework calls for a digital by design and techno-legal approach where legal and regulatory layers are supplemented with technological tools for compliance and oversight. Key recommendation: establish an interministerial AI committee to create a whole of government approach and a technical secretariat to provide expertise, manage an AI incident database, and drive voluntary commitments on transparency. Now, divergent paths, a direct comparison. So, while both are major democracies, US and India have pursued AI governance with fundamentally different drivers and philosophies. So we first have United States and India. This is a comparison chart. Core philosophy: market-led innovation driven by private enterprise and guided by American values. For India, state-facilitated societal development guided by the vision of AI for all. Primary driver: geopolitical competition primarily with China and maintaining economic leadership. For India, The primary driver is inclusive growth, so solving societal challenges and building a sovereign national capability. United States regulatory stance evolving from minimal regulation toward targeted rules on safety, security, and civil rights. For example, EO 14110. For India, regulatory stance is a pro-innovation balance, favoring self-regulation, now being formalized with principles-based guardrails. Key metaphor: the leader in a global race, focused on staying ahead for United States, and for India, the garage for emerging economies, focused on building foundational capacity using the AI stack, as mentioned above. And then for US, the funding or initiative, American AI Initiative in 2019. For India, India AI Mission 2024 with a dedicated budget of 1,000 crores. Now, some key takeaways and strategic implications. So Obama, here you can see Obama, then you can see Trump, and then you have Biden here. So this is a graphical representation of the downfall here of Trump on the AI policies, right? So the US strategy is reactive and power dependent. US AI policy has been heavily shaped by administration changes, Obama to Trump to Biden, and external geopolitical pressures. Its evolution is characterized by reactions to perceived threats and opportunities rather than single long-term national plan. So takeaway two is India's strategy is deliberate and foundational. India has pursued a more methodical top-down approach, sequentially building its strategy from firstly vision AI for all to infrastructure India AI stack to governance 2024 framework and principles. So strategic implication: two competing democratic models. These two approaches offer distinct models for other nations. The US model champions private sector leadership within a competitive global market. The Indian model emphasizes a strong state role in facilitating a public-private ecosystem geared towards national development goals. Right. And now finally, shaping the global AI governance landscape. The distinct strategies of the United States and India represent more than just national policies. They are influential democratic blueprints being offered to the world. For European Union, it's rights-based comprehensive regulation. For China, state-centric strategic control. For India, it is state-facilitated development-oriented AI systems. United States, growth in AI is basically market-led and competition-driven. The future of global technology regulation will be defined by not by a single dominant approach, but by the dynamic interplay and competition between these divergent models, with the US and Indian experiments offering critical paths for other democracies to follow.